It was supposed to be a simple hiking trip. 3 friends, Marcus, Jess, and Kyle, set out for Briarwood Hollow early one misty Saturday morning. The hollow was an old forest, largely forgotten, sitting at the edge of town where few ventured any more. The locals warned of strange happenings, people vanishing, shadows moving on their own, an oppressive cold that seeped into your bones. But the trio didn't believe in old legends. They were looking for adventure and a chance to film something spooky for their YouTube channel. The path into the hollow was overgrown. Gnarled trees arched overhead, their tangled branches blocking out much of the morning sun. The deeper they went, the quieter it became. The cheerful chirping of birds faded, and even the rustling of small creatures seemed to vanish. Jess paused. "Do you guys feel that?" she whispered. Marcus nodded. The air felt thick, heavy. Each breath seemed to drag. They pressed on, filming segments for their video. Jess joked nervously about ghost stories, while Kyle kept turning to glance behind them. "Feels like we're being watched," he muttered. By noon, they reached an ancient stone well deep in the forest, the supposed center of the old legends. The stones were slick with moss, the well itself sealed long ago with a rusted iron grate. Marcus knelt to get a better shot. As he peered through the viewfinder, his expression changed. "That wasn't there a second ago," he said. The others crowded around. On the screen, through the camera lens, faint shapes writhed beneath the grate. Dark, formless things, twisting and pulsing in unnatural ways. Yet when they looked with their own eyes, the well appeared empty. The temperature plummeted. Their breath came out in white puffs. Kyle's camera battery, fully charged that morning, flickered and died. Then the whispering began. Low at first, barely audible, then rising to a chorus of voices, layered, echoing, speaking in tongues none of them understood. The sound seemed to come from the trees, the earth, and the air itself. Panic set in. "We're leaving! Now!" Jess shouted. They turned to retrace their path, but the forest had changed. The trail was gone. The trees pressed closer, their shapes twisted and unnatural. The whispers grew louder, the shadows deeper. Shapes moved in the corners of their vision. Something brushed against Marcus's arm, cold and slick like wet stone. But when he spun, there was nothing. They ran blindly, crashing through thickets, scrambling over roots. The forest seemed endless, the sun nowhere to be seen. Hours passed, or maybe it was minutes. Time felt wrong, stretched and warped. Finally, they burst into a clearing. An old wooden shack stood there, sagging and half-collapsed. Desperate for shelter, they forced the door open. Inside, darkness pressed in, despite the daylight outside. The walls were covered in symbols carved deep into the wood. Bones, old and brittle, littered the floor. Then they saw it, a figure standing in the far corner. Tall, gaunt, draped in shadows that seemed alive. Its face was a void, featureless and shifting. The whispers ceased. In their place came a single, deep voice, not from the figure, but from within their own minds. "You should not have come," Marcus screamed. The last thing they saw before darkness consumed them was the figure stepping forward, arms outstretched. The search party found their abandoned car 2 days later, parked at the edge of Briarwood Hollow. Despite extensive efforts, no trace of Marcus, Jess, or Kyle was ever found. Locals say that on quiet nights, if you stand at the forest's edge, you can still hear the faint echo of whispers. And sometimes, the distant sound of 3 terrified voices calling for help.